Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Lawyer Up, our legal information segment produced by Eagle Radio International. I am Eliza Gonzales-Manglicmot, coming to you from our Washington, D.C. studio. With us today is a Maryland lawyer, Miss Kathlynne Ramirez. Hello, Miss Kathy.
Hi again.
Earlier, we were discussing equal employment opportunity complaints and the categories that fall under this. Another category where discrimination complaints fall under is the disability category. Could you explain further what this is?
Sure. The disability protected category applies to qualified individuals with a physical or mental impairment who, with or without a reasonable accommodation, are able to perform the essential functions of their job. That's a very long definition.
Yes.
So first we go into who is a qualified individual with a disability. Usually if you have been followed for at least a year, if your condition has lasted for a year or more, then you qualify as an individual with a disability. So it wouldn't cover someone who just got into an accident last week.
Okay. Let's say, speaking of accidents, let's say I got into an accident and I cannot function or I cannot perform my work obligations. What are the options available to me when I get into that situation?
In that situation, you would use the FMLA leave,
Which is
it's Family and Medical Leave Act.
Okay, what is this?
When we talk about the FMLA, we have to think of two things. One being who is an eligible employee and who is a covered employer.
Okay.
You are a covered employee if you have worked at least 1,250 hours within the last year for your employer.
Okay, less than this, you're not covered.
Correct.
Okay.
So this is roughly 8 months within the past year. You are a covered employer if you have 50 or more employees. So a small mom and pop shop is not held to the standards of FMLA.
Okay. Who are protected by this act? Let's say for the Family Leave Act. Let's say, who in the family that works can file this?
Anyone. It can be the father, the mother. It can be a child who has to take care of a parent. So the FMLA covers individuals, and they are given job protection for at least 12 weeks. If they have accrued paid leave, let's say they have accrued paid leave, then you can use that so that you're getting 12 weeks of paid leave. If you've run out of paid leave, you're still guaranteed your job back, but you're not paid for the 12 weeks.
Okay, so that's the problem there. You can take a leave with a guarantee that you still have your job back, but there's no pay.
Correct.
Okay.
In addition to group health insurance benefits will continue.
Okay.
And that your job will still be under the same terms and conditions. So if you come back and your employer says, by the way, we demoted you and we took away your functions of your supervisory functions, nobody reports to you any longer.
Okay.
That is a violation of FMLA.
Okay. So if you file that, when you come back, you should still be able to come back where you left off.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're a boss, you're still a boss.
Correct.
If there's people under you, there still should be people under you.
Correct. Okay. Plus, you cannot be held responsible for any work that was not accomplished during your absence. So if your employer says, look at all this backlog of work that you need to attend to now. No, that's also a violation. That's interfering with someone's FMLA rights.
Okay. So you mentioned this can be accessed by those, let's say, taking care of a parent or a family member, a sick family member. Let's say you're the one who cannot go because you're sick, or let's say you just gave birth.
Correct.
So you're still entitled to 12 weeks.
That's right. It's meant to care for oneself or one's family member, but it also covers the birth of a child so that we can bond with our children. It also covers adoption or placement. Let's say you're a foster parent.
And this goes both ways, the mother and the father.
Correct.
Both parents
are entitled to the leave.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's say I got into an accident and I cannot perform my obligations, and 12 weeks aren't enough. Can I extend it? Will I be protected?
It depends
Okay.
on where you work.
Mhm.
So Washington, D.C. is actually a lot more giving when it comes to D.C.'s FMLA. They provide 16 weeks of paid or unpaid leave. Other than that, some organizations, some larger organizations have short-term disability, and they allow their employees up to 180 days or 6 months worth of leave so that they're still getting paid.
Okay.
However, you're not guaranteed the same job back.
If it's after 12 weeks.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it's just between you and the employer, or how important your function is, or how well you perform it.
Right.
Then okay.
And most surgeries, by the way, have a healing time of 6 weeks,
Only.
6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So 12 is actually pretty generous. So hopefully many people are able to recover within the 12 weeks.
Yeah, but this is versus those, let's say, with long-term illnesses, let's say cancer.
In those scenarios, right, the employer always has a business interest.
Okay.
They need the job to get done.
Yes, that's true.
If you're no longer available to do your job, even after the law has given you the protected time off, your employer has that right to look for other individuals.
Of course, to protect their interests too.
Correct.
That's true. Okay, we've discussed all these categories or scenarios where one is entitled or one has enough to file a complaint. Let's say I'm a federal employee. Where do I file a complaint?
You must contact your EEO counselor.
Okay, EEO is
Equal Employment Opportunity
Counselor.
Counselor. That is within your agency, and you must contact them within 45 days of either discovering the discrimination or of the actual act of discrimination.
After 45 days, what happens? Let's say you didn't say anything for 45 days.
You lose your right to pursue your claim.
Okay. Let's say I work for a private sector company. What do I do?
You contact an attorney. Even if you're in the federal government, you should always contact an attorney first, because the attorney will be able to tell you how to frame your issues. If you rely on the EEO counselor alone, sometimes they won't cover all of the issues, all of the things that you perhaps are complaining of. And so if, let's say, the judge, you get to the level where you're before an EEOC judge.
This is federal, okay?
This is federal. And the judge says, or the agency's counsel, opposing counsel, is able to argue, this claim has no basis. This is a failure to state a claim, judge.
Okay.
Dismiss this one issue. If you have just one issue in there and you didn't capture everything, then you're out of luck. You have nothing further to complain about. Okay.
So even before consulting your EEO, it would be advisable that you get a lawyer already.
Yes.
Oh, to talk on your behalf.
Yes. Those who have an attorney at the very onset do much better in terms of getting a favorable settlement or a favorable decision.
Aren't EEO counselors supposed to be guarantee that you're protected, your rights?
Yes, and we wish that every EEO counselor was competent and very good at their jobs. Unfortunately, that's not the reality. They also have a lot of work on their plate, so it's possible that, and they have varying degrees of experience.
That's true.
So you always try and look for an attorney.
Yeah, that's the need for one, right? So, but if you're working for a private sector, go straight to an attorney.
Yes.
And then when can you file in court?
You must file with the administrative agencies first. Okay. These are the Fair Employment Practice Agencies. So if you're in Maryland, if you're in Montgomery County, that would be the Office of Human Rights.
This is both for federal and private?
No,
just for the private. Okay.
If you don't want to file it locally with the county, you can file it at the state level. That would be Maryland Commission on Civil Rights. Because the federal part, which is the EEOC, where you could also file, their backlog of cases is ranging between 2 to 3 years. So if you file locally, it's possible that your case will be handled sooner than later.
Okay. So if you are a worker who would want to file a complaint, what kind of attorney or what concentration would you have to seek to represent you?
You would definitely want to look for an employment attorney.
Employment attorney, okay.
And I don't think I answered your question earlier. 180 days.
Okay.
That is for private employees.
All right,
You
180
have
days.
180 or 6 months.
That's longer compared to
Than the
federal, 45 days.
Right.
Hmm.
The governments don't, they don't give up their right to be sued lightly. So they give you a very narrow window
so you have
of
to
time.
be fast.
Yes.
Is there any instances that this has been abused?
Yes, definitely. And this is why the law requires that we go through the administrative process
First.
and after it's been pending for at least 180 days, then you can take it into the court systems.
Okay.
The administrative process necessarily is able to sift or weed out those non-merit cases.
Okay, have there been situations where complaints or conflicts were resolved administratively?
Yes.
Oh,
many times.
that's better, right?
Yes. It's always better to settle than go through full-blown litigation because of the stress on oneself, the expense of hiring an attorney, and even the court costs. There are costs associated with depositions, filing fees, all of that.
Not to mention the stress that it gives you.
Yes, the stress is a big thing. Even those who get a favorable judgment, sometimes in the millions, they will look at their counsel after 5 years of having fought, and they'll say, if I could do it all over again,
I wouldn't.
Yeah, because now they've suffered anxiety, and the stress just gets to them.
All right. Thank you, Miss Kathy, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week, Attorney Kathlynne Ramirez will still join us in our segment Lawyer Up. We hope you can join us too and listen to some more legal information, any questions that you have. Also, we would like to thank you for joining Eagle Radio International for its launching worldwide. Today is its first day being simulcast all over the world, and we are here from Washington, D.C. We thank you for joining us. Ms. Ramirez, anything you would like to tell our listeners?
Lawyer up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we once again thank you and hope you can join us again tomorrow. Stay tuned for Eagle Radio International Las Vegas. They will be broadcasting from our Las Vegas studios, and we wish you have fun with them too. Thank you, and please stay tuned.